This is Ethan Tapper, the Chittenden County Forester, and I'm here at the Maple Shade Town Forest in Westford. The area where I am right now is called a group. And a group is an area where you cut not just individual trees, but a cluster of trees all together. Here in Vermont, our forests do this incredible thing, which is that when you create an opening, when you allow a little bit of light to hit the forest floor, you just manifest a new generation of trees. I call it the miracle of regeneration. And it's a big reason why here in Vermont, we don't really plant trees. We just create openings, create disturbances, often using logging as a tool, and we allow the forest to naturally fill those spaces. And one of the things that's so amazing about the miracle of regeneration in our forests is that we have all of these tree species that are adapted to different levels of disturbance and different levels of light. We have species like sugar maple and beech and hemlock, which are very competitive under very low light in the shade. We have our mid-tolerant species like red oak, yellow birch, and white ash, which need sort of a mid-sized disturbance, a quarter acre or larger, in order to grow. And we have our intolerant tree species like aspen and white birch, which are really only able to grow in the complete open. Understanding the miracle of regeneration and the ways that our different tree species respond to different levels of disturbance and different levels of light is a really neat way to learn more about the history of our forests and how to manage them going forward. Every generation of trees is the legacy of a disturbance. And if you can look at the species of trees and how old they are that are a part of each generation of trees that you see in your forest, it will tell you a lot about what happened and when it happened. What you can do is to look into your forest and you see different generations of trees. So groups of trees that are all of about the same size. If those trees are a member of a shade-tolerant tree species like hemlock, you can infer that it was a disturbance of low intensity because it would have been creating mostly shaded conditions, which is where hemlock is more competitive. And if you see tree species that are more intolerant, like a white birch, you can infer that forest was almost completely clear-cut, or maybe there was just a really severe windstorm or something like that. So it's also really important to understand this from a management perspective going forward. We know we want to manage for structural diversity, for qualities like that patchy, irregular canopy. And we also know that we want to manage for species diversity, lots of different species of trees. If you were to go into a forest and you were to make openings that were all about the same size, you could infer that you would get mostly the same tree species or similar tree species regenerating in those openings. If you create openings of all different shapes and sizes, you can manifest a diversity of different tree species, creating conditions where yellow birch and red oak and red maple and sugar maple and beech and hemlock and white birch and aspen can all be competitive in different places in a single forest. So here at the Maple Shade Town Forest, we have lots of openings that are an 1/8 acre to a quarter acre. Those will probably mostly regenerate hemlock on this site. And we also have this opening that I'm in right now, which is a 1/2 acre in size. And we think that this will help regenerate more mid-tolerant tree species, species like yellow birch and red oak. So as we look at a forest management project and as we think about managing forests into the future, it's really important to understand the really important role that mortality plays in our forests and the miracle of regeneration that will follow.